Playing on a Budget is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the best Magic the Gathering singles and sealed retailer on the internet, GatheringMagic.com, your #1 source for Magic the Gathering news and content, and RogueDeckBuilder.com, my personal channel filled with innovative and entertaining Magic the Gathering rogue brews. Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 3. We have the same opponent. Hopefully it's a different deck, but we'll showcase it again versus like a Temur, if not. We will go ahead and keep this hand. It's kind of vulnerable, but I like hands with Berserkers with extra mana because you always dump in a ton of mana to the Lightning Berserker. So it does look like he is using the Temur list again. We'll lead off with the Foundry Shoot Denizen and pass the turn. Next turn, I think we'll go another Foundry Denizen and just cast a Lightning Berserker, unless our opponent does have... Yeah, it doesn't look like he will be able to react to this, so I'm just going to cast a Lightning Berserker. That way we have one out. That we can pump mana into, and then we have a backup dasher. Alright, so we get in for the first points of damage. Our opponent is missing red sources. And anticipate in a turn? Yeah, expect and anticipate. The thing about Temur is it has access to a lot of the filtering that blue allows, and does have just the sheer power of red and green aggro. It gets a lot more interesting with this new set, Eighth Revolt, coming out. There's a lot of very powerful green-red cards that I think is going to really spice up even Frontier. Even though Frontier is still a format that hasn't been explored, is what I'm trying to say. I'd like to go into Hordeling Outburst. We do know that he runs Radiant Flames. Also, we do know that Bounding Krasis is probably a thing. So I will Hordeling Outburst. I think it's the best payoff here. So if he gets Temur Charmed, we still get in for 3 damage. But that means that a Krasis isn't being flashed in. And our opponent goes down to 14. And the Reef is relevant here. Every red source that my opponent taps for is going to cost a life. So go ahead and attack in. Down to 14. Another blue source. And no play on my opponent's part. I still think we go for the high payout cards like Pia and Nalaar. Possibly not. I'd love just to resolve like an Impact Tremors. Sometimes you get what you want. So now if a Krasis comes down, that's fine. Just a Fiery Impulse. Didn't wait till I've even pumped it up. And a Krasis, a Void Grafter. So this allows for the Impact Tremors, and then I'll just dash in a Lightning Berserker just so it comes back to my hand. So my opponent is down to a 12. The Impact Tremors gets resolved. And we'll just dash in a Berserker and then bring it back. So now my opponent has to decide: Void Grafter going to play backup, is going to try to attack in. Half his life total has been expended. These decks can run cards like Icefall Regent. I mean, there's just so many options available in these formats. He's going to attack in for 2. So keeping up mana. Here's the best card to play: Rabblemaster. I'd rather have Rabblemaster be countered than the Pia. And so now he needs to take care of the Rabblemaster immediately. And we'll dash in a Berserker here as well. Yeah, I don't think... I think our opponent is a little too aggressive with the cards like Void Grafter. So we'll dash in the Berserker. This will pump up the Denizen to 3, which makes it relevant for the Krasis. Not sure if I actually even will attack in with the Berserker, though. I don't think I do. I think I just leave it back, because I don't want it to fall into either the Harbinger just such a renewable resource with the Berserker. It's 1 damage every time I dash it. And it's going to be a Fire Impulse on the Rabblemaster. Should have done that earlier, because we still do get the token. And again, Berserker is not going in. I have a feeling that Krasis is just going to come out. And if I was wrong, I was wrong. But down to a 2, and so it's just cast Berserker twice. Still can't cast a red source without losing a life. And there's the concession again. So this deck does very well against the 3-color, like, mid-range type strategy. Radiant Flames, of course, is an issue. I guess Heelcutter, just these dash type cards do present us with another option. Wild Slashes, I don't feel Wild Slashes are good in this matchup. And the Denizens are fine. Rabblemaster. This Garrison, I just don't think it's... Garrison and the Forerunner is interesting, but I think that Heelcutter is just better than the Forerunner. I don't know. I think it's Garrison in that come out. I'm not going to bring in the Lightning Strikes. We're going to go a heavy creature strategy. Still want to keep my 1-drops. They bait out the Fiery Impulses. This is slow, but an Impact Tremors really just changes this. I'll keep it. Opponent does mulligan to 6. We do have Rabblemaster into Hordeling Outburst and a Pia into Pia. I mean, that's a pretty powerful hand with 3 mana, and we'll draw a 4th by the time we'll want to cast the Pia and Kiran Nalaar. So I would like just a 1-drop here. Dragon Fodder gives us at least a 2-drop. We'd have to worry about board wipes. Impact Tremors, of course, would be the best card to draw into. An Aether Hub. My opponent will have to spend his mana kind of awkwardly, I would say. Now we get a Foundry Street Denizen. We'll go Dragon Fodder. I think it's better than Foundry Street. See, this gets rebuffed, or even Stubborn Denialed could happen here. At the cost of a life. So, I'm actually okay with that. No, it happens. Another Aether Hub. Radiant Flames on 1 would only cost him a life at this point. We will just Rabblemaster. Most likely it'll get countered. But then we'll get in for 2. It'll cost him a life, and then we'll get in for 2. And if it's like Void Shatter, it'll cost him an energy and a life. A Temur Charm as well. So both those scenarios are pretty ideal for us. Still haven't seen any like Thought-Knot Seers. I'd assume that Aether Hub and Shivan Reefs and Yavimaya Coast would lead to some Eldrazi. This is more like a 4-color deck, not a 3-color deck. But maybe I'm incorrect. He should shoot this off right now. Yeah, he learned his lesson last time. It's going to get Lightning Strike. That's fine. We get in, it costs a life, as well as we get in for 2 damage from the goblins. And we have a handful of gas. We did miss the land drop, or we don't have a... I do want to hit that 4th, of course, for the Pia. So our opponent is down to a 17. Opponent misses the land drop. Stoke the Flames is okay. We'll just attack in and then Hordeling Outburst. Maybe let's go Foundry Street Denizen. See, I could just attack in with 1 goblin and then leave Stoke the Flames mana up to kill off like a Bounding Krasis or a Void Grafter. I think I'm going to do that. And our opponent does just scoop it up. So that's the problem when you play for out without any tickets or anything like that on MT Joe. We'll try to find another matchup that is not Temur. I think missing the land drop there was just pretty much the icing on the cake for this deck. We do hit our 4th land drop. This hand is really going to go crazy. We have the double Pia and Kiran Nalaar, Foundry Street Denizen. It just needs some Reckless Bushwhackers to come out and really... There's a Reckless Bushwhacker. Anyway, we'll go on to our last matchup. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again and hope to see you soon.